Hello, sorry if this background is a little strange. My daughter and I are just hanging out in her room. So I didn't want to post about vaccines at all because I really don't want to get in a debate, a vax, anti-vax debate with anyone. But I noticed in a lot of the mom groups that I'm in, a lot of moms want to know if other moms have gotten the vaccine, which vaccine they got, etc., especially nursing moms, and I am a nursing mom. So I'm getting a COVID-19 vaccine soon, and I'm planning to vlog about it and share my experience with you. And instead of posting that with a long, preface to the video, I figured I would just explain in a separate video, this video, why I'm getting the vaccine. I also just want to mention, I've already mentioned this on my channel, especially for those who are vaccine hesitant, vaccines have eradicated smallpox. Vaccines have mostly eliminated polio, tetanus, and pertussis. And while vaccine injuries are a real risk, that risk comes with everything in this world. Bodies are made differently. Bodies react to different things. My body, for example, reacted horribly when I first took penicillin, but that doesn't mean I'm going to totally, swear off all drugs and go on a campaign against all drugs. I recently had a clogged milk duct, and I'm so grateful that I could manage my fever with acetaminophen. A fever out of control is very dangerous. I know it can cause brain damage in a child. It's very scary. Same with food. I have a cousin once removed, if they eat peanut, they could die. But obviously they're not just gonna stop eating food. Anyway, if this video is not for you, that's totally fine. You don't have to watch it. Oh, I also wanted to mention there is a new vaccine that came out from the Jenner Institute at Oxford for malaria. I read that malaria kills around 400,000 small children annually. And this Oxford vaccine has a 77% efficacy, which is amazing. I'm very excited about this. Anyway, if you are vaccine hesitant, I just want to encourage you to not stay in your bubble of people who think just like you. Try to broaden your network. I know we can't travel right now, but traveling to developing countries can certainly change your mind about vaccines, and also broadening your network. I'm so grateful to have those in the medical field in my network. There's also a scientist in my network. She has her PhD in molecular biology with a concentration in virology and parasitology. And although I can read studies and research on my own, I have the humility to see that this scientist, for example, has spent many years in concentrated studying infectious diseases, viruses, how they spread, how we can treat them. Also, if you're vaccine hesitant, I will link below some sources that may interest you. Okay, so COVID-19, why I want to vaccinate myself against COVID-19. Well, I of course want to contribute to the common good, herd immunity, and I also want to protect myself so that I don't pass it on to my daughter. I want to protect my daughter. Although children seem to handle COVID-19 infection pretty well, I have seen some cases of people recovering from COVID-19 a year ago, but still suffering from some long-term effects to the respiratory system. I also read that infants are at risk for severe complications. Also, I want to mention, if you find a doctor online, who is vaccine hesitant or even anti-vax, I just want to share the reminder that a single expert can be wrong, but when the body of experts reach a consensus with the data that backs up their conclusions, that's worth taking note. Also, scientific studies are not all the same. You might find a study, that backs up your belief that you had before you even started looking for studies. But who funded that study, for example? Was the study peer-reviewed? And not all information that you find online is good information. We live in a world with clickbait. Someone can put out bad information that is shocking to get a lot of clicks. An example of some bad information is this Stanford anti-mask study that just debunks wearing masks. But if you look into the study, it was published by a cardiologist, so not necessarily his area of expertise, not his specialty. It was published in a journal with little peer review. For example, this journal in the past had published AIDS denialism, horrible information. Another example of bad information, I hate to even talk about this, but there was a mother who lost her child, and she shared that it was after vaccinations, and for a long time, was very strongly anti-vax and part of that community. But later it came out that the cause of death was suffocation, and she had had some alcohol before co-sleeping with her baby. It's so awful and heartbreaking. I really empathize with all lost parents, and I can see how it can help the grieving process to blame it on something like vaccines. But again, that's just an example of bad information that can get out there and be spread. It's just a bad situation. Also, I am a practicing Catholic, and a long time ago when I mentioned the flu vaccine, I got a comment like, how can you get vaccines when you are Catholic? Don't you know about aborted fetal cells within the vaccines? And I shared with that commenter the Vatican statement on Catholics getting vaccines. That's another reason why I felt that I needed to talk about this. I don't know why that myth is out there that Catholics are anti-vax or are not supposed to get vaccines in general. No COVID-19 vaccine actually even contains human tissue. The Pfizer and Moderna vaccines did use cell lines in testing, however, not in production. So the connection to the abortions that happened, in the 60s or 70s is so remote. And Father Casey explains this so well. He explains the theology of the cooperation with evil that has a long tradition in the Catholic Church. So you can check out his video where he explains that wonderfully. His channel is Breaking in the Habit. I love his channel. He has been touching on all of the hard topics. God bless him. And of course, he's receiving a lot of hate because he's covering all of these hard topics. Also, Pope Francis has urged not only Catholics, but the world to receive COVID-19 vaccines. Of course, it must be a voluntary choice, but he encouraged the world to receive the vaccines to promote the common good. And by receiving them, we are showing love for our neighbor and therefore showing love for our God. Both Pope Francis and Pope Emeritus Benedict received a COVID-19 vaccine. I couldn't find exactly which vaccine that they received. I think they don't want to share that. They don't want all the Catholics to think, oh, I need to get the vaccine that the Pope got because that must be the most morally acceptable vaccine. They both got a vaccine that had 2 doses, and the Vatican is offering Pfizer to all Vatican residents and employees. And there are moral concerns with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine because human fetal cells were used in production, I believe, for the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. So with knowing all of that, I'm pretty sure Pope Francis and Pope Emeritus Benedict both received Pfizer. That's my guess. My husband received the Pfizer vaccine because of his work. He was eligible to receive it before a lot of others. However, I have chosen to receive the Moderna vaccine. I'm going to share why. And just a reminder, I think I just mentioned this, that the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccine are both morally licit. Father Casey explains that in his video. And again, Pope Francis has urged everyone to get a COVID-19 vaccine, and he hasn't even said one is morally superior to another. He doesn't want to give preference to one, although the Johnson & Johnson, like I mentioned, has moral concerns. Anyway, the reason why I have chosen the Moderna vaccine is because 1, it is morally licit. Again, Father Casey explained that in his video. I'll link it below. And number 2, because I am a nursing mother. I am nursing my daughter, who is an infant who cannot become vaccinated right now. So with the Moderna vaccine, antibodies and T cells stimulated by the vaccine may possibly transfer into the milk. So the vaccine will protect me, which does protect baby, if I don't get sick, but also may protect baby through the milk. I'll link this large study that was done in Massachusetts below with Harvard, MIT, and a few hospitals, but it showed that IgA antibodies were found to be much higher after the second dose of Moderna, higher than Pfizer, and the IgA antibodies are the key antibody in breast milk. Anyway, I don't want to get into a vax, anti-vax debate online. I honestly just don't have the time to debate with anyone. I'm a new mom with a baby who I love so much. So I don't have time, honestly, to debate with you about all of this. But if you're interested, I will link a bunch of sources for you to check out below. And soon I'll post about my vlog, about my experience receiving the Moderna vaccine. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. God bless you. Bye.